As we all know, in the One Piece anime, Zoro is known for his bad sense of direction. And what if he were to get lost into the world of Pokemon Scarlet? Can he become the strongest Pokemon trainer? Let's find out. Of course, with a few added rules to make it more interesting. First up is no terrestrializing. Battle is on set mode, no Pokemon Center, but potions are allowed. Only one Pokemon can be used per battle, and lastly is no minimap. So that way this will make it more realistic. To begin, we need to make our character resemble Zoro. After a few editing, this will then be Zoro. To start our game, we must first choose a starter, and I chose the grass starter Sprigatito. We then battled our rival. Sadly, we can't name her, otherwise we could have named her Kuina, as Zoro's rival in the anime. After defeating her, I then proceed to beat Arbet to obtain Koraidon. After that, I then catch Aurals, as Gallade will be the main part of my team. I nicknamed him after Wadoichi Monji, or Wadoichi for short, as this is Zoro's main sword. After that, I then battled Nemona again, where this time, she has a Tera Palm. After defeating Nemona, I then proceed to begin treasure hunt. But before truly beginning our hunt, I went back to the wild area just outside of Los Platos, where I can catch a Scyther early on. After catching a Scyther, I then named him Yubashiri, as they are both green and sharp. I then proceed to head east, where I first face the Stone Titan. My Yubashiri was able to defeat it easily. And now it's time to start hunting down all 8 gyms. First up was Brassius, as I was nearby. After taking on the gym test and finding all 10 Santoras around the city, I then placed them all back in the garden and passing the test. Next up was to battle the gym leader, Brassius, the grass type. Yubashiri was able to wipe his entire team easily. That then leaves me 7 more to go. After finishing the gym, I then stumbled upon a Murkrow. After catching it, I named it Kitetsu III, or Sandai Kitetsu, as Honchkrow is a dark type and Kitetsu is a cursed sword, so I think it's somewhat similar. After that, I then went back west to face the next gym. Upon arriving on the next gym, I then proceed to take the gym test. After clearing a path, I then passed the test and is ready to face Katie, the bug type gym. I used my Kitetsu this time, and he managed to defeat her entire team. That leaves 6 gyms left. Before proceeding further, I then decide to catch an Axew, but not just any Axew, a shiny one, as the shiny Haxorus resembles that of Shusui due to its black and red color, and according to the Cerebi website, this is the location where Axew spawn early on into the game. After heading there, I then ate a sandwich in order to increase my odds of encountering a dragon. I then proceed to shiny hunt an Axew. This may take a while.
1 hour later.
After some battling, my routes then evolved into Krylia. Before proceeding on with the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.
Many hours later.
After 3 to 4 hours, I then finally saw the shiny Axew. After catching it, I then head to the Sky Titan, where my Wadoichi and Shusui was able to handle the Titan. I then proceed to raid my first Team Starbase. After defeating 30 Pokemons, I then proceed to face Giacomo, where my Wadoichi was hanging in there.
Not even close, baby!
And turn the tide against the Star Mobile. Before proceeding on with the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. After finishing off Giacomo, I then rushed just outside Medali City in order to get a Dawnstone to evolve my Krylia into a Gallade. After that, I went back to Carafa City to face my 3rd gym. After defeating Kofu's apprentice, I then gave him his wallet and outbid everyone to pass the gym test. I was then challenged by Nemona, where my Wadoichi uses his new moves against her team. I then faced Kofu, the water-type gym. After defeating 2 of his Pokemons, my Gallade managed to hang in there.
なんで立ってるあれだけ切られて
and finish off his Grabominable. That then leaves me with 5 gyms left. Next up, I then went to face the Ground Titan, where my Yubashiri was able to defeat it, and after drinking some potions, I then battled it again once more with Arben, and with his help, we were able to defeat it. After that, I then caught a Vigoroth, as slacking is constantly lazy, just like Zoro. After that, I then took on the gym test, having to guess the right order. After passing the gym test, I then faced Larry, the normal type gym. My Wadoichi was able to handle his Komala and Dadan spurs, and hanged in there once again. And finished off his Staraptor. After that, my Vigoroth then evolved into Slacking. Only 4 gyms remain. I then went back to face Mela, the Fire-type Team Starbase. My Wadoichi was able to defeat her Torkoal and her Star Mobile. I then proceed to the next gym, where I have to find Director Clavel 3 times to pass my test. After that, I then battled Iono, the Electric type. My Wadoichi then managed to sweep her entire team easily. Only 3 more to go. After defeating Iono, I was then challenged by Nemona, and once again, my Wadoichi was able to sweep her entire team as well. Before proceeding on with the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I then proceed to face the Iron Titan. After chasing it, my Wadoichi then one-shot it.
That's a lot of damage!
Twice.
No, that's a lot of damage!
I then proceed to the last Titan. Along the way, my Axew evolved into Fracture. I also found a muscle band that looks like a bandana that can be used, just like Zoro when he gets serious. So I gave it to my Wadoichi. My Wadoichi then proceed to face the Titan, and with the help of Arben, we were able to defeat the Dondozo and Tatsugiri. I then rushed to Monte Nevera to get a Dust Stone in order to evolve my Murkrow to Hunchcrow. After evolving my Murkrow, I then went ahead and took the gym test, as I was already there. I used both my Kitetsu and my Yubashiri. After passing the test, I then battled Rhyme, the Ghost-type gym, in a double battle. My Kitetsu was landing critical after critical, and my Yubashiri was slicing her team. And then there were 2. After that, I then went to get my last Pokemon for my team, which is King Gambit, as King Gambit is a steel and have a deadly blade in his head, as well as being a dark type like Enma. After catching a B-Sharp, I then head to face Atticus, the poison type of Team Star. My Wadoichi was able to cut his way through his entire team. I then went back to Glacido Mountain to face Grusha, the Ice-type gym. Before facing her, Nemona challenged me again, where my Wadoichi was able to slice her whole team easily. After that, I then proceed to take the gym test, sliding down the mountain, and passing the test. I then proceed to battle Grusha, where once again, Wadoichi was able to destroy her team easily. This leaves with only the last one. I then head back to where I caught my B-Sharp, because in order to evolve B-Sharp, he needs to battle 3 B-Sharps while holding a leader crest. After battling 3 of it, I then leveled it up, and thus my King Gambit has arrived. I then head back to face the last gym, which is Tulip, the Psychic type. After doing the gym test, matching the emotions, I then proceed to battle Tulip, where my Kitetsu was landing critical over and over and over again. After hunting down all 8 gym, I was then ready to face the Elite 4 and Champion. I then head to face the remaining Team Starbase. Along the way, my Fracture evolved into Haxorus. I then proceed to face Ortiga, where I used Enma for the first time. Enma was able to handle his entire team, smashing his way through Star Mobile. Lastly is Eri, the Fighting type, and I used my trusty Wadoichi as he swept her entire team. After all of this, I then head back to Pocopat Lighthouse to face Arven, where my Wadoichi is able to manage Arven's entire team, as Arven's team mostly consists of Pokemons that are super effective against Fighting type. This then completes the path of Legends. I then proceed to meet Kasofia, but was first confronted by none other than Director Clavel. I was then challenged by the director, where my Wadoichi was handling his team and dodging a will-o-wisp, and then proceeding to one-shot his entire team. I then faced Kasofia, or turns out was Penny. Once again, Wadoichi was slicing through her entire team, and after defeating her, this then concludes Operation Starfall. Now all that is left is the champion. After heading in, the first part was an interview. After passing the interview, I then faced the first Elite Four, which was Rika, the ground type. Wadoichi used Leaf Blade on her Wishcash and Aqua Cutter on her camera, and then Leaf Blade the rest of her team. That's the first one down, that leaves 3 more. Next up was Poppy, the Steel type. Wadoichi just used Sacred Sword to her entire team. 2 down, 2 remain. Next up was Larry. This time, he's using Flying type. My Enma was able to withstand his Staraptor and Altaria, and then finished off the rest of his team. 3 down, only 1 left. Lastly is Hassel, the Dragon type. I used my Shusui, the Dragon Slayer sword. My Shusui was poisoned while attacking one of his Pokemon, but then withstood the final attack and then end Hassel's last Pokemon. After defeating Hassel, all that is left is the champion. I then confronted the champion. Beating her would then make me become the strongest. Wadoichi, my ever-faithful partner, from routes to conquering the champion. Wadoichi took down her entire team and thus claiming victory. I then battled Nemona, my rival, one last time. Wadoichi deflayed her Lycanroc, Sacred Sword her Palmot, Dadanspars, Earthworm, and Gudra, and delivered the finishing blow to her Quaquaval. This then completes Victory Road. All that remains in the story is defeating AI Sada. Enma used Iron Head on her Slitherwing, Screamtail, and Brunette Bonnet. He then used Koto Cleave on her Sandy Shocks, Iron Head again on her Fluttermane, and ended her Roaring Moon. We have now become the strongest as we were able to beat the entire game. If you guys enjoy a video like this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as this really helps out our channel.